The most expensive financial mistake most people make looks completely harmless. It's not a bad investment, not a high-interest loan, and not even an impulse purchase. It's one short sentence you say at dinner or in conversation with friends. I've saved about $100,000. In that moment, something happens that almost nobody notices, but it instantly changes the economics of every future relationship around you. You think you just shared good news. In reality, you just moved an invisible boundary in everyone's mind who heard it. And with that boundary, their perception of what's normal and affordable for you changed. From this moment, the price of every small thing in your relationships starts rising literally. Most people think the main financial risk is spending too much. But the real trap is more subtle: announcing to the world that you can spend more. Because once people know your lifestyle level, that level becomes an expectation. An expectation is the most expensive currency in social economics. Advertising and social media have built a system where wealth must be visible. You're taught that success must be demonstrated: new car, vacation, apartment. But nobody explains one fundamental thing: capital grows in silence. It works best when nobody knows about it. Imagine a submarine in the ocean. Its power is that it cannot be detected. It can move anywhere, choose any path, make any decision. But when the submarine surfaces, it becomes a target. Its capabilities don't disappear, but freedom vanishes instantly. The same thing happens with capital. Money grows fastest when it's invisible, when it's not part of conversations, not part of your image, not a social signal. But when you show the world 100,000, you bring your submarine to the surface. People think the problem is others will ask for money. That does happen, but that's not even half the problem. Something else costs much more. You start paying yourself, even when nobody asks. Because the image you created starts controlling your behavior automatically. If people know about your savings, ordering the cheap dish starts feeling strange. Refusing to pay the bill seems petty. Any display of caution looks inappropriate. The financial industry rarely talks about this because the economy is built on the opposite principle. The more visible your lifestyle, the more money you spend. The more you spend, the more credit cards, ads, and brands profit. The whole system wants you to turn your money into a signal. But wealth isn't created by signals. It's created by compound interest. And compound interest is the quietest mechanism on the planet. It works slowly, patiently, and almost invisibly, and that's exactly why it's so easy to destroy. If you have 50 to several hundred thousand in savings, you're at a dangerous point, because this is exactly where the temptation to talk about it appears. You worked hard, saved money with discipline, survived years when others spent everything. You want recognition, you want to share, but this is exactly when most people make the mistake. A move that will cost them hundreds of thousands in the future. And if you don't understand this mechanism now, in 10 years you'll ask an unpleasant question: why did my money barely grow, even though income was good and investments were smart? The answer is almost always the same: the submarine surfaced too early. To understand how this works, imagine two people. Let's call them Mark and Jake. They start from almost the same position, both 35, stable jobs, same income, and each has saved about $150,000. Neither won the lottery, sold a company, or got an inheritance. Their capital is the result of boring discipline and years of patience. But then their paths diverge on one small, almost invisible decision. Mark treats his savings as an achievement worth sharing. He tells friends he finally crossed the six-figure mark. He's not bragging, he's just happy, and at dinner calmly names the number. In that moment, nothing happens outwardly. Nobody's jealous, nobody asks for money. But in people's minds at the table, new reality models quietly form. Mark is now the person who has serious money. Jake does it differently. He behaves almost the same as before. He invests the same, saves the same, builds capital the same. But he doesn't talk about numbers to anyone except his partner and financial advisor. If money comes up, he answers vaguely, trying to save, it's growing gradually. He's not lying, he just doesn't give people numbers to latch onto. To others, he just looks like a responsible person, neither rich nor poor, just stable. Now, let's look at the next 5 years of their lives. Nothing dramatic happens. No major financial disasters. No sudden windfalls. Everything looks like normal adult life, but it's in these calm conditions that the difference shows. Mark's decision environment gradually starts changing. When friends choose a restaurant, people choose slightly pricier places because they know it's no problem for Mark. When the bill comes, there's a pause, and Mark more often picks it up. Not because they ask, but because it's logical for someone with money. When a trip is discussed, a slightly better hotel is chosen. When colleagues discuss new cars, Mark starts thinking his old one looks modest. It's not pressure, it's calibration. Psychologists call this the social norm effect. People adjust behavior to match the image they established in the group. If someone marked themselves as successful, successful behavior is expected. Jake experiences the opposite dynamic. His friends don't know the numbers, so they can't adjust expectations. When the group chooses a restaurant, he calmly suggests a cheaper place, and it looks natural. When a bill comes, everyone pays for themselves, and nobody feels awkward. He doesn't have a financially successful role that needs constant validation. Mark starts spending about $400 more per month than before. It's not one big purchase, it's hundreds of small decisions. Slightly pricier restaurant, slightly better vacation, slightly more generous bill. $400 doesn't look like a problem for someone who earns well. But money doesn't just disappear, it disappears along with future compound interest. $400 per month is $4,800 per year. And if invested at 7% annually for 30 years, it becomes approximately $580,000. This is the price of one habit, matching the image of someone who can afford it. Mark didn't become irresponsible. He still invests, still saves money, still thinks about the future. But his financial system got a small crack, and compound interest doesn't like cracks, because even small leaks turn into huge sums over time. Jake continues living almost invisibly. His expenses grow slower. His investments keep working. And most importantly, his decision freedom remains untouched because nobody around knows what submarine is under the water surface. 10 years pass, no dramatic events, just normal life. By age 50, Mark's capital reaches approximately $800,000. That's a good sum. Most people never get this close to financial independence. But his capital has one feature. It's tightly tied to his current income level. After 10 years, Jake's capital is approximately $1.1 million, a difference of about $300,000. And this difference wasn't from higher salary, but from one factor, the level of financial visibility. Real wealth is the ability to choose, the ability to say yes to what truly matters. And almost always this opportunity appears not for those who look richer, but for those who stayed invisible longer. The modern economy is designed to push you the opposite way. Algorithms reward displaying success. But compound interest doesn't like noise. It loves silence, time, and discipline. Your money also creates signals. Every conversation about income forms a financial signature. And the louder this signal, the more expectations return back to you. That's why financial silence isn't secrecy. It's a strategy for preserving freedom. A strategy that allows capital to grow without social pressure. A strategy that protects compound interest from thousands of small leaks. If there's one thought to remember from this video, money grows fastest when the fewest people know about it. Because the real purpose of capital isn't to impress, but to give you a life where choices belong only to you. If you want to build such a system, start with a simple step: subscribe to the channel. Not for entertainment, but as a reminder that capital isn't a status game. It's a tool for freedom. Hit the like button if this video opened your eyes to how social economics works. Write in the comments if you've encountered this trap in your own life. Hit the bell icon so you don't miss new videos about building real capital. In upcoming episodes, we'll break down concrete steps for creating your financial submarine, how to set up automatic investments that work without your participation, how to create an invisible financial floor that only you know about, how to answer questions about income without revealing numbers. Share this video with a friend who's also building their financial future. Because freedom, like a submarine in the ocean, works best when it stays deep below the surface. See you in the next video. Build your submarines.